Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the tangle Drogon from Lily Moon. This is a fun tangle. To the time of this recording, it's Thursday. Thursday means it's Tangle Time Day. So we had two fun sessions playing with this tangle. All right, it starts off with a kind of a double row of orbs, and I'm going to do these diagonal. All right. And one of the things that we were kind of playing with was, let's see, there we go. The idea of, well, you can have them far apart, you can have them, kind of close together, and just exploring how that can affect the overall design. But it's really, really neat. Okay. Once you have your orbs, however you want them, and then pick a place to start. But what we're going to do, and let's see, I'm just trying to get it so that way I'm holding this, and then you can also see my pen. Yes. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to end up doing a zigzag with orbs. So I'm going to start mine going this direction. And one of the things that we found was it was kind of helpful to have your tile or your paper positioned so like this is in a straight line. And it did find it helpful to be able to see versus, well, you could keep going this way. But no, my eyeballs want to see this way. And so that's how I'm going to do it. And you can always play with the size of your orbs. We had some that, did the first ones larger, and then these ones that we're doing now a little bit smaller, but there's just lots of fun to be had with this one. All right. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to go off of the page or anything. Okay. So once you have your zigzag done, then we're going to put in seeds, essentially. And for those that don't know, so, well, here's where we're going to go first before I explain what a seed is. Those original orbs that we put down, we're going to put seeds in between them. So this is an original one, right, in this. So I'm going to start here, and it's just a curved line down to this other orb, going one direction and then going the opposite direction. So then you have what looks like a seed. And we're going to do this to all of them. And these ones, just because it's on the edge, mine are apparently just going to be kind of long and skinny. That's another place that you can have fun with. Okay. Now here, so you can take a look at my step out and then take a look at Lily's step out. And those are both in the description section. When I was doing the step out, I was thinking, I wanted to have a lot of lines. And you can do that. It's all up to you, however you want to do it. But I also kind of like the idea of having fewer and separating them more. So I'm just going to start on this one here. And I'm going to start right where the orb meets the seed and kind of auraing down like this. I'm going to do this side here. And having it, it doesn't have to be on an orb. It can be in the crevice. It doesn't matter. I was first thinking, oh, well, I have to do one line and then have it touch like the center of each orb, because I saw a couple of hers that looked that way. I didn't look any further to see that no, they're not all that way. So that's how I ended up doing when I did my step out, because I had a lot of little orbs. But this one, you place them however you want, and and then also we're working up the orb, not all coming from the same spot, and so you get to decide, how high up, and this looks right to me, so I'm sticking with it. So again, I want to do the opposite side. And then the other trick with this is to not start. I end up with little bits of line inside here, But, we will for sure be course correcting that out. And there we go. Yeah, and it looks neat. And we're going to do that, like I said, for all of these sides. I think that I get stuck sometimes wanting to have it all come from, this one place, and I forget. And so I'll like the first two will come from that same place, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. We want to work our way up like so. And if it ends up being a little messy, don't worry about it. Especially on the orb side, because the orbs, we will be filling those in. And that will fix a lot of that. And then two, like I find when I go too fast, then I get some of these curves end up a little bit wonky. And look at what I just did. Speaking of going inside the orb like that. All right. And okay, this way. But like I said, I know that we're going to fill those in and it'll all be okay. All right. And here's what I think is, well, I'll show you after. What I think is funny about this one is I look at this, I'm like, oh, okay, it's a bit sloppy. It'll be all right. And then when we get to the finish, it's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And I love tangles like that. All right, so our next step was to just fill in these orbs. Now I will mention on, well, these ones in particular that are just kind of open. If you feel the need to, you could kind of make them a little bit bigger, then you certainly could. What you want to do, if you want to leave a little gap, especially if you're working on a white tile like I am, and we can leave a little shine there. And it doesn't matter necessarily where. It can kind of be in the center. I think a little off center is nice, but again, that's completely up to you. A lot of times we'll call these pearls. But this is an opportunity also because we're filling in. And here it's a little easier to do. I don't know that you could do it necessarily on these orbs because they're butted right up next to each other, but because this is freestanding, and all that we're taking away from are the little lines that are coming into it. You could adjust the size of these if need be. And then also, like I had mentioned, it does fix the issue of lines going into them. And some of these I've made these, I'm going to need to make this one just a little bit bigger. But you could kind of, make them line up a little bit better, like size-wise, things like that. Okay, and then we're going to do this on all of these little orbs. And then I'll show you samples from my playing today, because of course you can use some color. Sometimes I get a little sloppy with these myself because I'm like, I feel like I'm scribbling and just leaving that opening, and I'm not really worried about where it is or anything. And then two, if you forget, or maybe you have some, like, some of mine are kind of inconsistent. If you have a white Jelly Roll pen, or gel pen, doesn't have to be Jelly Roll brand. If you have a white gel pen, then you can come back afterwards and, especially if it's all filled in, you can put the little shine wherever you want. And like that one that I just accidentally covered all the way over. All right. And then we'll show you some shading. And this is just a neat tangle. You could use it as a border if you wanted to. I was thinking too, maybe a little bit not so tall this way and more spread out this way. So having having those beginning orbs, like I said, a little closer together but farther apart, in the row, could look really interesting too. but you can do, like I said, you can do this any size. You could, we had some that made it a feature. And then like I said, some that just made it a border. Really, really neat. Now, if you'd like to see the work that was done, I probably won't have it ready for a couple days, but if you go to my website, which is in the description section, and click on follow us, so you can follow the blog, because it's essentially a WordPress site. So when I post things, it will generally send out a post, and then you can see all of the beautiful work that was created. I do screenshots, and then we will, and then when people email into me, gosh, I got my words backwards. Their work, that I add it to a gallery. That way you can see things a little closer up, because a screenshot is a screenshot. There's sometimes, a lot of times, a little blurry. Okay, shading. I'm going to put some graphite around these orbs that are just kind of hanging out here in the open. And I'm not going all the way around. I'm just going where the lines are. And let's bring that out before I do the other. I just had this tortillon in my hand. Okay. I'm just going to bring it out a bit. Now, one thing to remember is that you want to make sure to have some original tile color, so that way then you can see the effect that the graphite will have. And then two, I don't necessarily want, let's see. That's all right. I don't like, I like having a gradient. I don't like having this line, so I'm just going to, I'm pushing it out. Yes, a little bit like that, just so it breaks up that line. Just a little bit. I don't know why that, it just seems to work. Doing that. Yes, now I'm happy. Now, you could stop at that if you want to, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to put some graphite on the outside of these orbs as well. And also, you could just do this and not put any graphite around these orbs that we started with. That's again, up to you. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm trying not to bring it out too far, because like I said, right here, I want to have this original tile color be there, so that way it looks like it is, you could think of it either looking shiny, or that it gives it a curve. And then two, I'm going to see, because that one just has gotten a little bit too dark. I'm going to just see what I have left on the tortilla. No, not enough. And I'm going to try something, and we'll see if we can bring out some light in that one. The challenge with working on something small is that you can't bring out the graphite as much as you might want to, because then, well, you can still see there's still light here, so it's not. It just looks more gray than it does anything else, and it's okay. But you can see that this little like ring. All right. Okay, and it makes it look poofy. That was the technical word that I came out with today. Now I just want to try something, because I mentioned on the call, and I was pretty confident that it would work, because I've tried it before. I want to do the same thing. I don't like to have that harsh line anywhere. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of a sharpen. Okay. So I'm going to add, this is a General's charcoal, a white charcoal pencil, and I'm just going, as you can see, oh, that's kind of helping. Because I'm on a white tile, it's not going to be as stark white as when I'm using the samples that I have, which I used gray and tan paper, but it is, well, see, like I've gone only halfway here, but you can kind of see the difference. It also covers over the black a little bit, so it kind of adds to that shininess. So if you just need a little bit of a something extra, you can always do that. You could probably also try it with a colored pencil, regular, Prismacolor or something. It'll look a little bit different because it's a different medium. But yeah. So just some thoughts. So here are some playing. So I think I started to mention, but I didn't finish my sentence. Or I said, oh, let's wait and I'll show afterwards. This is one of those tangles. Oh no, I did mention that. You get to this point, you're like going kind of sloppy, but then when you finish it, and even this, it's like, well, wow, that's neat. And so this one I did with some color on the orbs, and I wasn't sure what I was gonna do. If I was just gonna do another row or do a whole border, because I wanted to figure out, well, how would I do a border? And but then on our evening class, I figured out I was just gonna play with it and see what happens, and this is what happened. So this again is on a gray tile, and that was on a tan. So using the white, I did the same thing that I did here, but it's just so much more pronounced because it's a toned paper. So just extra things to have fun with. And then on these I colored with the Prismacolor, and I did them solid, and then added a little swoosh of white jelly roll. Some of these are a little bit, I think I was using the 10 for some of these, where I went over, but just a little line, little curve line. These are so small, it's hard to get that in there, but yeah, turned out really neat. I'm still tickled with it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, would love to have a thumbs up or a like. Feel free to share it if you know other people that enjoy Zentangle, or just drawing in general, and pattern drawing, we should say. And if you're not a subscriber to the channel, I would love to have you be a subscriber. Of course, subscribing to the channel is free, and then you'll get notices when I post new content. Also, remember to check out the description section for step outs, links to my website, ways to connect with me. If you would like to be part of the Tangle Time on Thursday, would love to have you join us. Information is on my website, or connect with me in any of the ways that are through there, and we will make sure to get you connected for next Thursday, because I do them every Thursday unless there's a holiday or something really, really, really important comes up. But do them every Thursday. So with that, thanks so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.